Hi, Celia, Beauty by Celia. I'm going to explain to y'all because I have been asked why we do foundation and then concealer and why not concealer and then foundation. So answers are here. So I already have my serum on, I already have my moisturizer, I have my under eye cream, I already have on primer. So now what we're gonna do is with one eye, we're gonna do the concealer first, and this is Pharmacy Liquid Concealer. And I'm just gonna put it on my little palette here. And then I'm going to take my little brush, and I just use a little flat, little fluffy brush, and we're just gonna dab a little on here. And then we're going to do, this is my right eye, so on your left side of the screen. And I'm just patting, and patting. We pat and dab, ladies, pat and dab. And so we're gonna do concealer on this right eye first. And we're gonna get it all pretty. We're gonna get it the way we like it. And there we go. Maybe a little, I've got a blue vein right there. All right, so there we go. So we've got this eye all pretty and concealed. And this is what happens when you go in with your foundation next. So I'm using Pharmacy VFX. Now I'm gonna put a little squirt of it right up there. And I've got two different foundation brushes. I've got a really big fluffy one, and then I've got a smaller one. And so what I have learned for me personally is that the bigger, fluffier one gets these bigger areas done just a little quicker. So we're just gonna pat dab, and we're gonna get this foundation all spread out. And we're going to do this up in here. So when we do our faces, when we put on makeup, the idea is to make us three-dimensional. We don't want to be a flat painting. So the whole reason we contour, the whole reason we highlight, the whole reason we do all of that is to make us three-dimensional. We don't want to be flat like that. We want to be three-dimensional. So in the case of foundation, concealer first, as we did on the right eye, and then now we're putting on our foundation. Have you noticed that while I'm doing this, you no longer can see the concealer on this side? Have you noticed that it's going away as I do my makeup? And remember, we highlight, we contour, we conceal. Everything we do is to make us three-dimensional. So remember I told you I had two different brushes because I like this one to come in, and it does a little better around the eye area, does a little better in the crease areas. So the reason I choose two brushes is to get these smaller areas just a little better. So I'm gonna take a peek over here in my mirror and see how I've done. Got a little hair there, probably an eyelash. So maybe just a hair more, out in here. And then we're gonna remember, we pat and dab to put on our whole face, but around the face area and around the jawline, we rub, because we want to make sure that we are blending, that we've got it all blended in, that we don't have some funky line, because we're not funky Comedina. No, we want pretty faces. So, foundation is all on. So on the right eye, we did concealer first, and on the left eye, we didn't do anything. So can you see how we lost the concealer? But for you non-believers out there, that was a joke. So now we have foundation on. We're going to go back to the concealer. Now we're going to do my left eye, and I'm going to show y'all the difference. So the reason we do foundation and then concealer is our goal with makeup is to help our faces get three-dimensional. We don't want to be a flat painting. That's why we highlight. That's why we contour. I got a little more here. So when you put your concealer on first and then you do your foundation, you lose some of that. And I'm fixing to show y'all. Gotta make sure I got enough product. Dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. I know probably on your end it looks like I'm rubbing, but we don't rub because we don't want to pull the skin. We don't want to pull the product. So it's little bitty dabbing, 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 tapping, tapping, tapping strokes. We don't want to pull the skin, and we don't want to pull the product either. So now, can you see the difference? Left eye, concealer on top. Right eye, we did concealer first, then did foundation. Can you see the difference? Because I can. Can you see how there's highlighting in here? And it's just all one-dimensional here. Let me make sure I got enough out here. When I'm talking to you and looking in the mirror, sometimes we get a little lost. So remember, pat, dab. You don't want to pull on the skin. You don't want to pull your product. That's why we don't use our fingers. We don't use our fingers for several reasons. We don't use our fingers because we don't want the extra oil. Why we use a palette, not the back of our hand. Now, see if I can get in the lighting a little better. So we did concealer first, then foundation. We did foundation and then concealer. And see where you can see where I've come out with all my concealer. And on this side, pretty flat looking. And also, if you'll notice, the dark came back. Still not a believer? Because I'm not going to work like this. So I'm just putting a little bit more. Now, I'm going to come back. We're going to redo this eye after foundation. And we're going to show you. So remember, we contour, highlight, we conceal. All these things we do to get a three-dimensional look, because we're not a flat painting. That's not our goal. Our goal is to make kind of, you know, like me, I have a big nose, so when I contour, I try to hide that a little bit. I have nice sized eyes, so when I make sure that when I'm doing all my makeup, I make sure that I highlight and accentuate that. We all have our likes and dislikes about ourselves, but we're all beautiful. We are all beautiful. And if you don't remember that, you get up every morning and you tell yourself that in the mirror. So now, see, it's highlighted a little better. All right, ladies, gentlemen, anybody out there listening and watching, that is why we do foundation first and then conceal after. We want three-dimensional faces. When you put on your concealer first and then your foundation, you rub it out. See how you can see concealer, concealer, and notice the dark went away again once I put concealer back on it. I'd love for y'all to have a great, blessed day. Please go forward and be fortunate. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace. Bye. And I went out with a bang.